Right, welcome to Britain, folks, land of the free, home of the absolutely bonkers. Here we are in the year of our Lord, 2025, and the powers that be have decided it's time to roll out the red carpet for illegal migrants at the Britannia Hotel in Canary Wharf. Yes, you heard that right, a swanky hotel in one of London's poshest postcodes, now a taxpayer-funded B&B for people who strolled across the channel without so much as a by your leave. Meanwhile, our own homeless are sleeping in doorways. Pensioners are wondering if they can afford to turn the heating on this winter, and our kids are rotting in care homes so grim they make Dickens look like a holiday brochure. Welcome to Britain, indeed. So let's just take a moment to soak in the sheer genius of this, shall we? You've got homeless Brits, people born and bred here, some of whom fought for this country, shivering on the streets, clutching cardboard like it's a five-star duvet. Pensioners who've paid taxes their whole lives are rationing their tea bags and praying they don't freeze to death when the next gas bill lands. And our children, our own kids, are being shunted into subpar care homes and temporary accommodation so dodgy you wouldn't kennel a dog there. But don't worry, because the Britannia Hotel, with its plush beds and room service, is now the go-to spot for illegal migrants. Priorities, eh? Absolutely spot on. Now, I'm not a monster. Genuine, and I mean real, genuine refugees who are escaping somewhere, fearing for their lives because they are well and truly innocent and they have absolutely nowhere else to go, no safe country at all, then yeah, come here. But there are rules. Mix in, obey the law, don't hate us, and don't try and make us bend over backwards to fit your narrative. That's not how it works. When in Rome, do as the Romans do, so to speak. But when did it become government policy to put people who break into the country ahead of those who built it? The Britannia Hotel, I mean, come on. That's not a hostel, that's a bloody upgrade. Meanwhile, you've got veterans sleeping rough in Manchester, grannies in Glasgow, choosing between food and heat, and kids in care wondering if anyone gives a toss. Spoiler alert, the government doesn't. They're too busy playing hotel manager for folks who didn't even bother with a visa. And let's talk about the cost, shall we? Because this isn't just a moral slap in the face, it's a financial one. We're forking out millions to house illegal migrants in places like the Britannia, while our own people are left to fend for themselves. The NHS is on its knees, social services are a shambles, and councils are so skint they can't fix a pothole without taking out a loan. But sure, let's splash the cash on hotel rooms for people who aren't even supposed to be here. Makes perfect sense if you're an idiot. This is what happens when you've got a government so spineless it could slide under a door. They're terrified of being called names, you see, so they bend over backwards and look compassionate while screwing over their own citizens. Compassion? Give me a break. Where's the compassion for the homeless bloke outside Tesco? Where's the compassion for the pensioner who can't afford a cup of tea? Where's the compassion for the kid in care home who's lucky to get a clean bedsheet? Apparently, that's all in short supply, but we've got buckets of it for anyone who rocks up on a dinghy, or when Zelensky turns up with a begging bowl. And don't even get me started on the message this sends. Waltz into Britain illegally and you'll be sipping coffee in a Canary Wharf hotel. Try being British, paying your taxes and playing by the rules, and you'd be lucky to get a cardboard box. It's not just unfair, it's a betrayal. This country's supposed to look after its own first, not because we're mean, but because that's what countries do. That's the deal. But no, our leaders are too busy virtue signalling to notice the country's falling apart around them. So here's a radical idea. How about we fix our own house before we start handing out the keys? Get the homeless off the streets. Make sure pensioners aren't freezing. And for God's sakes, sort out the kids in care before you start booking hotel rooms for people who shouldn't be here. Is that too much to ask? Apparently it is, because this is Britain where common sense goes to die. And there we go. That's all from me, folks. If you're as sick of this nonsense as I am, leave a comment, share this video, like, and of course, subscribe. And let's remind our so-called leaders who they're supposed to serve. And here's a hint. It's not Brussels, and it's not the Britannia Hell guest list. So what do you reckon? Until the next time, Roger Trout.